Hello everyone, I am Eric Brown. Thanks for checking out my video, and I apologize in advance for the construction noise in the back. I'm from Oregon, but I've spent most of my life in Washington, actually on the east side. So I went to Newport Senior High School, Bellevue College, and now Lake Washington Institute of Tech. And I'm a senior cohort in the Digital Media and Interactive Entertainment program. So finding a favorite video game is actually a really hard question because I tend to like any one game in particular for usually an individual reason. So I'll try to give you my top three. Number one is Mortal Kombat in the arcade. Because it's chocked full of like digitized characters. They're doing the actual moves for the most part. It's also got really memorable music. There's fatalities, and there was like an unavoidable amount of hype. And I had like zero qualms about putting a quarter in line to like challenge the guy that knew all the moves that was just beating dudes down for like an hour and a half straight. Ninja Gaiden on NES is my second, because like Ninja Vengeance stories were nothing new, like for concepts in the 80s, but it was the first time that I ever used the word cutscene. To this day, there's still no other game intro that I like more. The music's awesome, the character controls are precise, the levels are varied, and I still find myself spelling ninjas with an S. Yeah, it does not have an S. It's just ninja, plural. Good stuff. On a side note, in that movie, The Wizard, there's like that prodigy video game player, and they make a reference to the fact that he's on his fourth playthrough without taking a hit. But it wasn't actually until this year, 2021, which is like over 30 years after its release, that somebody was actually able to beat it once, taking zero damage. The speed run, well, not the speed run, but the no hit run is on YouTube if you want to check that out. Third up would be Dark Souls, and it's not just there for like the crazy like reward pleasure sensory overload from like surviving combat. It's actually there for like the way the dark lore in the land becomes like lit by obscurity, and that progression unfolds, and like I come right back to where I started from, but I'm somehow better off. All that stuff's really kind of, it opened my awareness to game design in a way that really focused on like telling story through the environment and balancing horizontal and vertical in a way that develops like a massive open world feel that's really just like right behind a door that's locked from the other side. So that's really cool. I think a good game for a newbie is The Pathless. It is an award-winning PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 title. It was developed by Giant Squid founder Matt Nava, and he did the art direction for Journey. So it's described on their website as a mythic adventure game about an archer and an eagle in a vast forest. And that's pretty true. It gave me plenty of time to like breathe, and it gave me the ability to like explore everything from beautiful caves to like mountain forests, and then I could even just fly around in the sky. So very fun, very kind of tranquil. It's all ages, and it balances everything from the movement, the puzzles, and the combat mechanics, like all around a single auto aiming system. So, it can be handled very fast paced, very quickly, very easily, but it still finds a way to keep everything kind of fresh and engaging at the same time. I did earn a platinum trophy on that, and so I'd recommend it to anybody. It's just really fun to just turn it on, let it go in the background. It's colorful, just listen to the forest, run around with the elks, or just like go and fly around and just enjoy the sky, which is I don't really get to do in every video game. So. Moving from that, favorite movie and genre. Movies, probably a tie between like Conan the Barbarian and Army of Darkness. I'll say Army of Darkness because it allowed the comedy of an extremely gruesome prequel series to like shine through, and kind of like take the lead. Because while there was like camp in it for sure, it was like definitely kind of like understated compared to the amount of like gore and things like that in the originals. But doing that, it gave well, give the world more Bruce Campbell. But also, I don't know whether or not the video games would have been made, the spin-offs, the remakes, the series adaptations, or if any of that stuff would have happened. So, a lot of people got their first introduction to the Evil Dead series or the Evil Dead world from the games, and there's like pen and paper role-playing games about it. I literally made one. So that's all good stuff. So it's very, very inspirational. It's also just funny as hell. Yeah, and a good mix of comedy and horror. I'll take fantasy adventure over just straight up horror any day. So I'll throw Conan in there and anything with swords and sorcery. The last movie I watched was FP2, Beats of Rage, and it's about the Bloodsport Beat revelation. And it opens with a warning text that the following film requires a 3-drink minimum to fully enjoy. So check that out if you're in for a good time. Yes, the eye patch is real, and yeah. Moving on. Favorite authors: Bruce Colville. When I was really, really young, my favorite book was Jeremy Thatcher Dragon Hatcher growing up. I love Brian Jacques' Redwall series. I've read like 14 of them, I think up to like Tagarung. And then I've read literally everything I could find from Robert E. Howard's Conan, including the Elsprog de Camp works that got taken over kind of from his manuscripts and stuff when he passed, and then a lot of I think Robert Jordan did some. There's some other people started doing them too, so I've read as much as I can of that. And let's see, why did I choose LW? Well, that's a really good question. I have really kind of like a feeling that I've lived like several lives since I got my associates, and for like as much as I changed over that time, I still kind of felt very much the same. I spent 15 years in hospitality, doing everything from washing dishes to developing training programs, and that was also while working concurrently for give or take 10 years contracting. I was doing support operations and QA, compliance testing for like current gen gaming consoles, and that didn't really give me a lot of time for myself. So I found the time and the availability to come back to college, and I decided to finish that up. But it is a really nice feeling because I get to work towards transitioning into a new career, which is awesome. But it's also rad because the work that I'm going to be doing provides me experience towards the possibility of independently creating like my own lasting experiences and wealth. So after graduation, I'll use that experience to seek like maybe a wider range of employment instead of like any particular specialized field, while I develop the kind of industry standard marketability of my portfolio. And I'll intend to do that through originating prototypes for my concept house and volunteering with a charitable organization that develops video games for hospitals. So I'm in good with them. Just need to get onto a project. So, I kind of went from taking a lot of time from myself to giving a lot of time to out as well. But it's just the way it goes. So study, study, study. Studying never ends, so I just keep planning on learning when I'm done, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from here. So hope to see you guys all in the future making great games, work with you all, and yeah, thanks again for watching my video. Bye.